Hey Tim, look at this.
Needs work.
Hey Tim, how about this?
Still needs work.
Darn it. How about this?
Nice, high five.
Hey there everyone, how's it going?
My name's
And
Tim,
my name's Michael.
and you're watching the TMI show.
That's the Tim and Michael Information Show. Happy New Year, by the way.
I know, thanks. It's good to be here. We're a little ways in.
I don't know when we're going to air this one. I
Yeah.
hope this one goes up pretty soon.
Just in case, happy February.
Happy February. Happy February, everybody.
All right, happy
Yes.
Valentine's Day, happy Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, and
Stuff.
Groundhog's Day Eve. That's also my favorite. One of those two. So,
Is that when you watch that Bill Murray movie?
yeah, over and over again. Is that when you watch that Bill Murray movie?
I just put it on a loop.
I can't even.
Bill
can't
Murray
even speak.
movie.
Anyway.
Anyway.
What we're actually doing today, I don't know if we could have a title for this, if it's Psychiatry 102 or
Are you going to take the whole couch this time?
you know what? If I can just lay. No, I'm kidding. I actually was just going to talk to you about it. And I guess the topic would be called being an adult. I wanted to tell you a little about what I was doing, and then I thought, why don't
Please
we
do,
just
because I have
record
no
it?
idea what it's like to be an adult.
Yeah.
It's news to me.
Neither do I. A predicament that I was actually faced with was actually choosing when not to do something, and this kind of goes back to our other episode where we talked about taking on too much when you have too much in your plate, and it's okay to say no. So back during last semester, during fall of 2013, winter of 2013, they had announced that at school we were going to be doing Noises Off. Now, for those of you who don't know Noises Off, it is a farce. And when I say farce, if you've seen Clue, the movie Clue, or Airplane, those are very farce movies. They are over-the-top comedy that is a little unreal at times, unrealistic. People would never act that way. And it's totally my kind of humor, my kind of theater. Anyway, Noises Off is one of the king of farce shows, and I won't go into the whole plot and everything. If you know it, then you know it. Go ahead, look it up by Michael Frayne. Excuse me. And so I wanted to do this show.
Cool.
I got my own copy of the script just for me. I didn't want to buy one from the school. That was like photocopied or anything. I wanted mine. I said I wanted mine, and I'm going to have it. And I was looking at it. I said I knew I was going to do it. What happened over break, as I talked to you briefly about it, is I'm now in a band.
It's a great band, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I photographed them for a night, and it was fun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And that'll be another thing to talk about when we come back to it. So, wanted to do this show. Then the band happened. And then Mark had asked me if Mondays would be good for me to rehearse. And I said yes. Now, even though this kind of happened suddenly, I was supposed to go over. Mark is our bassist and a good friend of mine. He's also a brilliant sound whiz. I don't know anybody that knows sound like that man. I was just supposed to go and hang out at his house, and we were supposed to sit down and just kind of record some things. And he'd asked me if my guitarist can't do this gig, would you be able to pick it up? And I said, sure. The second I sat down at his house, he said, all right, you can't do it, you're in. I said, oh, great.
All right.
The
there
next
you go.
day, he said, all right, our other guitarist quit. And I said, oh, shucks. So then I had to find another friend who got our buddy Don to go in. It is Thursday tonight?
Tonight is Thursday. Thursday, the 30th of January.
Dude, my first gig was a week ago.
Wow.
Literally a Thursday ago. This like 7 days ago. Because when he told me that we had,
right.
when he told me we had the gig, he said it's in 2 weeks, and I said, that's 2 weeks to learn 22.
Burst fast.
Exactly. And thank God it's and it was a cover band, so it's easier. He wants to do original music down the road, but
Right.
it was easier for me to say yes, I can do 22 songs because it's cover songs. I know these songs. I've grown up listening to mostly half of them, so it was easier for me to do. And then all of a sudden, I think I'm actually kind of a permanent fixture in the band now.
Good.
And so the whole point is, this week started. It was a huge turnaround. I think it's only been 3 weeks. And before even Monday began, I was faced with not going to auditions, thinking about not auditioning. First, I knew that I wasn't going to do a particular class, which is just a PE wellness class, and I said, no, I'm not going to. But then Wednesday, I said, no, you know what, I'm not going to audition, because I already have a portfolio class, which is on Wednesdays. They rehearse Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evenings, and then I said, and if I were to, not that I wouldn't want to drop that class or anything, but Then if I do that, then there was just too many dominoes of things. And
Right.
the second I said to myself, maybe I won't audition. Maybe I just won't audition, and then I can do the show somewhere else. And then, of course, Wednesday, I saw my buddy Derek, and he had just auditioned, and I was so torn because then I went to go say hi to all my friends who were auditioning, and I was like, look at all the brilliant people that are in front of me. So it's one thing to say you won't go to dinner, but it's another thing when dinner is laid out in front of you, and they've given you a fork, and there's a huge feast, and there's not even that many people at dinner. And
So you can have seconds and thirds and clean up after everybody else.
And you still say no.
Oh.
And you still say no. So that was hard for me to just say no. But I think the biggest thing was I had another commitment. And even though I'd wanted to do the show first before the band came up. And now I'm in. And I am enjoying it. And it pays a little. It doesn't pay a lot, but it pays a little.
But you're getting some extra money to do what you love.
Yeah.
It's a good move.
And that's the other thing, too. I didn't even think about that until, like, today, I think, when I was at work. And because I was doing a show at Knott's, and then one of our other good friends and talented people, Danny Roquet, he told me when another one of the guys had to leave, he said he quit the show because he had school. And then Danny said, stupid kid. He says, stupid kid, you're leaving to go to school to be trained to do the thing that you're already doing and getting paid to do. So it wasn't even a thought of money for me initially. My whole thing was just, I have a commitment to the band. And I told Mark, I said, I am available on Mondays. And I wasn't going to say I'm available on Mondays and then suddenly not be available on Mondays after I said I would.
Right.
So I don't know if there was a lesson in sticking to your word when you tell somebody that you're going to do something. And even if you really, really, really want to do something else, just not doing it, I don't know. So that's what I wanted to talk to you
Cool.
about.
Well, you've spent quite a few minutes
Yeah.
just getting all this out.
Thank
so,
you.
Let me get my little pad and paper here. How does that make you feel?
Oh, well,
And why do you hate your mother?
no, I love my mother.
I love my mother too, and I love your mother.
If you're honestly asking how what makes me feel, the decision or the...
Sure, that was sort of an arbitrary psychiatrist question, but I think that is a fair question too. So, I mean, I know when I've come across these decisions at some points in my life where I'm trying to do too many things, and finally I just have to realistically look and say, you know what, I can't do all of these well, so I have to let one or two of these go. And it's kind of like letting go of a child. Not that I've ever had a child, but I can imagine what that feels like. But when you finally kind of release that from yourself, you're like, oh, I feel a little more free. Like I've just empowered myself to do these really, really well. And maybe that's what you felt.
It was hard because I was talking about something that I loved and I absolutely wanted to do, and more importantly, and I told some of my friends, I said it hurts even more that I won't be doing it with you, the people that I've worked with before and that I absolutely love working with. But I will say, when I did initially decide, like the day I decided I wasn't going to go to the audition, there was some sort of levity, I think it was hard to combat, I knew the sad feeling was going to come, but there was a weird levity that I just, like, my shoulders felt free all of a sudden. I said, okay, I don't have to do that now, because, and I think that's something to go forward for, because you may not expect it. You may really want to do the thing you really want to do. And I don't know if you've ever been in this situation, you who is watching, where you do that thing and then all of a sudden you see yourself week or month, however long later, saying, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done this, or maybe you did enjoy it, but was it really hard? And did you break a promise or split your time between something else? So, I mean, initially I did feel better when I made that decision. And as worse as I felt, I feel very, very confident about the decision that I made to not do it and just to stick to the band. So,
well, you know what? You and I think about this all the time, because you and I are both people who just are in love with everything. We love music and art and drawing and movies. I mean, look at all the stuff we talk about, all the conversations we have.
Right,
There's so many things we're on fire for. And I'm always telling myself, like, I'll look at somebody who's playing music either in a band or in an orchestra or conducting or composing, or maybe they're off making movies, or maybe they're writing novels. And I'm like, if only I had multiple lives to lead. Like, if I could, I would pull like a Doctor Who and just split my timeline into like 5 different directions and have my music life and my movie life and my my theme park design life and my just fine art life and my graphic novel life and just all these different lives, because there's no way you can really thoroughly passionately cover all of those in one lifetime. Like I feel like I could, but I kind of wanted to devote 80 years to every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you did, is just what we have to do sometimes, where you kind of pick your heading and you say, I'm going this way, the other stuff is fun, I'm into that, but I think this is really what I want to dedicate my life to do. And you just have to make that decision.
Dance.
Been there, done that, yeah.
Yeah, that's for me. I have a lot of friends who dance, and they're great at it. Mm-hmm. And I love to watch dance, and I think I decided very early on, it was one of those things I said, I don't have the time. Mm-hmm. I would love to if I could, but I know that's one of the first things I always think of when I say, gosh, the thing I would like to do, and so... But anyways, so again, I don't know if there's anything that imparts to you if you guys are faced with those decisions, and if you're in that weird little between a rock and a hard place, or whatever that expression is, and if I can impart anything, and again, talking to you feels a lot better about it, and it makes me feel better about it too. I'm like I made the right decision or whatever it was, but it's okay to make those hard decisions, and I know it's like we said, it's okay to say no, but just go with your gut, and there was one of those times that I think I honestly, I'm like, what is that voice? Is that a conscience talking to me? Like, is that I don't know.
That is. So, but I think it's so cliche and like Disney to say follow your heart, but I think in this case it definitely applies. I mean, if that's a metaphor for stick with your passion and you let that be your guide. I mean, how did Mitch Hedberg say it? They say follow your heart, but I say, find out where the heart's going and I'll just meet you there. I mean, it's not like your heart is going to make all the hard decisions for you, but I think if you have to decide between several things, figuring out what is really in your heart, what you're really passionate about, is going to be your is going to be a really valuable decision maker. I have to do this all the time in art class, because even within the world of art, there's all these different, directions to take. There's people I know who are really good at drawing animals, and people who are really good at, doing characters, and I see all these people who do all these really great things, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not nearly as good as that character designer. I need to spend more time, designing characters so I can be as good as them and successful. And I have to reel myself back in and say, no, that's fun, that'd be nice, but that's not what you want to do professionally. So, don't worry if, they're off doing their thing, you do your own thing, and stick to that. Stick to your guns. Follow your heart.
That's a great place to end, I think.
There you go.
That was really nice said. So, thanks again for tuning in, and we will see you next time, folks.
All right.
Hi guys, if you would like to leave a question or a comment for Michael or myself, you can reach us at tmi.art.productions@gmail.com. Leave a message after the beep.
Beep.